Money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing.
Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
We can talk, but money talk, so talk more.
Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show.
Baby, I got your money.
You're now tuned into the financial motivator himself, Ash Cash, Mr. Mind Right, Money Right. Money right, money right.
So welcome to the Ash Cash Show every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. I got to remember to say 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell a friend and tell a friend. So I did a poll earlier asking which was the best time, and so you know, my health, staying healthier is the most important thing that I have on the docket for 2023. The most important thing I got is staying healthy, and so I have to work out in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So 8 to 9 was having an effect on my health because of, you know, after the show it's hard to, you know, work out, so I got to work out before then. And so that's why we're moving the time. Did a poll, check, you know, was like, yo, what's the best time? And everybody said, or not everybody, but most people said 9 a.m. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. is the best time. And so, you know, I want to talk about, you know, Happy New Year first and foremost to everybody. You know, welcome. And I want to talk. I want to talk about gratitude for a second, right? I want to talk about gratitude, and you know, my title for today is "Stop Being Grateful." Right? Stop being grateful, and you know, I know that could sound contradicting. Right? That could sound contradicting. Miss Edith, salute. I know it could sound contradicting. Like, yo, like, what do you mean? Stop being grateful. Like, why? You know, why do you say stop being grateful? So first, you have to understand not what the dictionary says, right? Facts, right? Look, they say my West Coast people appreciate 6 a.m. instead of 5. That's a fact. I thought about that too. Salute, blessings 3D in the building. I got D Waters. So, you know, not the true definition, right? Marcia, thank you for the badge love. Not the true definition of, like, what, if you look it up in the dictionary, what gratitude means, and what appreciation means, right? But let's just take it, you know, let's just take it from a how we use it perspective, right? Like, how are we using it? Like, how do we use the word gratitude? How do we use the word appreciation? Rainey, what up? I am telling everybody that I need you to start adopting an attitude of appreciation more so than an attitude of gratitude, right? And what I mean by that is, a lot of times when we are grateful for something, we're grateful for it in contrast to, right? We're grateful for something in contrast to. What do I mean? Right, Miss Edith, welcome. Right, what I mean by that? I mean that, you know, if you've seen poverty before, right? You've seen poverty before, and you are now not living in poverty, right? Like, you're not living in poverty. You're living, you're living abundantly, then you will look and say, you know what? I'm grateful, right? I'm grateful for not living in poverty. Rich Kid, what up, my guy Rich, the OG in the building. Happy New Year. You know, like you're grateful for whatever that condition is, right? For not being in that condition, right? But I posed the question, where what if we stop being grateful? What if we just appreciate everything? Right? Like what if while we were in poverty, right? What if while we were in poverty that we just appreciated, not grateful, right? Not grateful for poverty. I don't want you to be grateful for poverty, but I want you to appreciate it. I want you to say, look, I appreciate the fact that I'm going through what I'm going through, right? I appreciate that I'm going through what I'm going through because this is teaching me something. This is helping me get to another level. This is helping me, redefine myself. It's showing me who I am. It's right. Like this appreciation of things is more so a constant, right? It's more so a constant reminder of being present, opposed to having a space in which you're only grateful because of the contrast, right? So somebody who's looking for, or if you're in a good relationship, let's say, right? If you're in a great relationship right now, do you appreciate that relationship or are you grateful for the relationship? The only way you're grateful for that relationship, right? The way that you're Corey L. Hughes, what up, my brother? Powerful episode Inside the Vault. If y'all ain't check it out yet, y'all need to check it out and stop playing. My brother dropped some bars, right? Are you grateful for that relationship or do you appreciate that relationship? Right? Manouche says, what happened to your left eye? I was born with leftosis. Leftosis is a condition where my left eye doesn't have a muscle. So I can't I can't move it. People can't tell. I just came from the gym. So when I'm more tired, you can't, you could probably tell it. You could probably tell when I'm more tired, but my left eye don't have a muscle. Since you want to know, that's why. But yeah, that's what happened. It's called leftosis. But look, right? Are you grateful? Are you grateful for your new relationship? Or do you appreciate your new relationship? Because if you are grateful for your new relationship, to me, there is a comparison, right? To me, you're comparing your new relationship to your old relationship, right? Like, oh, my old relationship was this. Abu, Happy New Year. My old relationship was this, and so I'm grateful that I don't have this, right? Which in a way is almost focusing on the past, almost focusing on a space that you don't necessarily want to be in. And as a man thinketh, so shall it be. So in a way, when you're grateful from that regard, you're almost calling old situations back in. For me, and what I'm telling you to do going forward is have a level of appreciation, period, right? Have a level of appreciation for life. Have a level of appreciation for everything, right? Appreciate the good, appreciate the bad, appreciate everything that is happening in your life, because everything, right, the good, the bad, the ugly, every single thing is working for your greater good, right? Everything is working for your greater good. Everything is helping to push you to another level. Everything is helping you to grow. Everything is helping you realize what you want, what you don't want, right? Because at the end of the day, we should only be looking forward. We should only be looking at the things that we desire and not necessarily focus on the things that we don't desire, right? Contrast is good though, right? So I'm not saying that there's no room for contrast, right? I'm not saying that there's no room for contrast. All I'm saying is that as you're living your life, make sure the majority of your life is in appreciation, right? That the majority of your life is in appreciation of who you are right now, right? You appreciate all the experiences that you've been in, right? And then it's almost like also having an expectation too, because I feel like, and this is how the thought process came to me, because I thought about when people like, and this is what I want you to do starting this year. I don't want you to be surprised by blessings, right? I don't want you to be surprised by blessings. I don't want you to be surprised by it. I don't want you to be in disbelief. Like when God go crazy in your life, and when I say go crazy, I'm saying when God goes, like, gives you blessings upon blessings upon blessings. When God does that, yo, don't act surprised. Don't act as if, don't act grateful, right? Appreciate it though. So I'm not saying have an ego. I'm not telling you to edge God out. I'm saying, show appreciation. But I also want you to expect it though. I want you to expect your good. I want you to expect your good. I don't want your good to take you by surprise. Right? I don't want your good to take you by surprise. Because in essence, right? In essence, when you allow your good to take you by surprise, you are in essence telling God that you don't believe that you deserve it. You are it's almost like you're telling God that you don't deserve it. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Yes, I can. Right? Yes, I can. I appreciate you. Thank you, God. I appreciate you because I know your power. So why am I surprised? Right? Do you if you work a 9 to 5, right? If you work a 9 to 5, and as you work your 9 to 5, after you work your 40 hours, and your boss, young faces, what up? Your boss gives you a check, right? You work 40 hours, your boss gives you a check, and after your boss gives you a check, when you get that direct deposit, are you surprised? Right? Are you surprised? Like, oh my God, thank you, boss. I can't believe you gave me, like, oh my God. You're not surprised, right? You're not grateful. Are you grateful? You're not grateful. You're not like, oh my God, I'm grateful for this check because I could not have nothing. No, that's not the energy I want you to be on. Right? That's not the energy I want you to be on. I expect it. I appreciate my job though. Right? I appreciate my job. I appreciate the fact that I'm able to be mutually beneficial to an organization. I appreciate that. But I ain't surprised. As an entrepreneur, if I sign a deal with somebody and they wire me some money, I'm not surprised, right? I'm not surprised. I'm not like, oh my God, I can't believe the wire went through, right? I can't believe that the wire went through. No, the wire went through because I expected it to go through. I expected that if I show up every day, right? This is my expectation. I expect that if I show up every day and I become who God told me to become, that there will be a reciprocal exchange, right? There will be a reciprocal exchange that we would get to the place where there is an exchange of goods, services, money, whatever, and that's where my blessings are going to come from, right? And so in the way of how people look at gratitude, right? How people look at gratitude, I want you to stop looking at it that way, right? I don't want you to feel it, you know, I don't want you to feel like it's a miracle, right? I don't want you to feel like it's a miracle. Like, oh my God, it's a miracle that this happened, when that's the promise, right? That's the promise, right? The promise is that all things will work for your greater good. That's the promise. Is a promise a miracle, right? If I look, oh, watch this. This is his catch this bar. The only way a promise is a miracle is if you didn't believe it. The only way a promise is a miracle is if you didn't believe it. If I tell my child, if you do this, you get this, right? If you do this, hey child, if you do this, as a result of this, I will reward you. And then my child does the thing, but is now surprised that I rewarded them. Well, they didn't believe me, right? They're surprised, right? Their surprise is because they didn't believe. But the truth of the matter is that if they believe, right? If they believed, they would what? Be expecting, right? They would be expecting this reward, because they fulfill, right? They fulfilled their part of the promise. We had a conversation. We made a covenant. I said, if this, then that. And they fulfilled their part. So now they're expecting, they're actually coming with their hands out. It happens all the time. I tell my daughter, I say, yo, if you do this, you get this. When she's finished doing it, her hand is out. With a sense of expectation, like she's expecting, right? There's a sense of expectation. She's expecting my promise. And so my question to you, right, is that if God said, right, if this is God, not me, it's not Ash Cash, I ain't say this. If God said, right, if God said that all things are working for your greater good, that's what God said. If God said, yo, all things are working for your greater good, then why am I surprised when blessings happen? Or why am I fearful when something that shakes, that seems to be negative, if you will, happens? Why? No, I'm not fearful. Because God told me all things are working for my greater good. I said, God said the good, the bad, and the ugly. God said all of it is me. Right? God said all of it is me. Right? Thank you, son.
Problem.
Right? Like look, my son. Let me give you a quick example. My son comes to me yesterday and says, "Hey, Dad, I want to learn how to earn some money." So my son says, "Hey, how about when you anytime I hear you on," and this is a true story. He says, "How about anytime I hear you on live or we do anything, how about I bring you some water?" I said, "You know what? Deal." I said, "Deal." I said, if you ever hear me talking to the people on live, bring me water and I'll give you a couple of dollars. So now, guess what? After the show, he's not gonna be surprised if I gave him money. Because it's a promise I made to him. Right? It's a promise. We have a covenant. I made a promise to him. Right? So hold on. Let me let Chadwick talk to you real quick.
Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you.
God's plan. There's a plan for you.
God says in Jeremiah, "I know the plans I have for you."
I know the plans I have for you.
Plans to prosper you.
Plans to prosper you.
Harm you.
And not, look, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Right? I know the plans that I have for you. The plans to prosper you, not to harm you. And so if everything, why show gratitude, right? Why show gratitude? Again, there needs to be a level of appreciation, right? In fact, every time something happens that can shake you up, the more you are faithful, you should be excited because it's almost like, yo, you got chosen.
Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you.
Predestined. You have a purpose that's predestined inside of you.
God says in Jeremiah, "I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you."
Yep.
And not to harm you.
Not to harm you.
Plans to give you hope and a future.
Yep.
Hear me well on this day. This day when you have reached the hilltop.
Facts,
and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education. You would rather find purpose than a job or career. Purpose crosses
marriage. Happy New Year.
Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history.
Yep.
Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to feel.
I didn't know you could go live on TikTok. Whatever you choose
for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose.
I don't know how to do that.
When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. If it's meant for you, God will move someone that's holding you back away from a door and put someone there who will open it for you.
Yep.
I don't know what your future is.
I don't know what your future is.
But if you're willing to take the harder way,
if you're willing to take the way that's destined for you,
complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it.
You will not regret it, yo.
Press on with
pride on.
And press on with purpose and appreciate what God has
Wadi, what up?
Through.
Happy New Year.
You are now listening to MindRightRadio.com, the only place to get inspiration and motivation all day, every day.
Talk to God often.
Talk to God often,
Even
y'all.
if you're not perfect, just talk to him every day. You don't have to be in the same faith I'm in, or you ain't got to call God the same thing I call him. But listen to me, you do have to call him, though. It's not gonna make your life easy. Faith don't make it easy. Faith makes it possible. All you want is the strength to get through your life. On the days that I feel like I'm not gonna make it, on the days that it feels like I can't endure anymore, I think back on my track record for surviving all my bad days. And so far, surviving all my bad days, my track record is 100%.
100%, y'all.
It ain't about the money. I know a lot of very, very rich people that's miserable. Not happy at all. I can bet you most of you are happier than most of the people I know. And I know some very, very wealthy people. And money don't make you happy. It helps you through a lot of situations. You know the only thing about money? Money takes all emergencies and turns them into mere inconvenience.
Mere inconvenience, y'all.
That's what money does. Money gonna change your life a little bit, folks. All of you gonna get more, but you gotta ask for it. But if that's your desire to get more of it, you gotta ask God for it. If you want to be happy or successful, you gotta ask God for it. Most people don't have the life of their dreams because you don't ask God for it.
You're not asking.
You have not because you ask
You
not.
have not because you ask not.
If you up your ass, he will up his gear.
Yep.
If you change what you ask God for, he immediately changes what he gives to you. You don't need an education to be successful. I flunked out of school. What God has for you, quit tying it in education. People kill me. I know people got 2 degrees finna go back to school and get another. If you got 2 of them that ain't working for you, why would you go get another one of them? I know people that's mastered and PhD'd up, ain't even working. You don't need that. I'm telling you, man, your whole success is tied in your relationship to God. You can simplify this by getting in touch with your creator. That's your key, man. Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you ask God for. You just got to quit tripping while you're in the process. Because the process is necessary.
Wait, hold on, y'all. Stop tripping while you're in the process. Right? Stop tripping. Stop tripping while you're in the process. Because the process is necessary. Right? The process is necessary. And so when, as I go back, right? As I go back and I say, hey, you know, the only reason a miracle, or you think blessings are a miracle, is because you don't believe the promise. And so what happens is, right, if the promise is I'm going to prosper you, right? If the promise is all things are working for my greater good, then during the process of getting you to your good, you look at a situation and you start complaining. You start complaining about that situation, right? You start complaining. You stop showing appreciation, right? You stop showing appreciation for that situation that's going to get you to your good, and you start complaining. Well, that's tripping during the process, right? Think about this. In order for a caterpillar to become a butterfly, in order for that to happen, in order for a caterpillar to become a butterfly, it has to go through 3 processes. First, the egg, right? First, it has to be an egg. And once it's an egg, The second process is it then breaks out of the egg and becomes a caterpillar. Right? And so now when it goes from becoming a caterpillar or egg to a caterpillar, it now has to become, it has to get into its chrysalis. And so now once it gets inside of its chrysalis, right? Now once it gets inside of its chrysalis, it has to, that process of it going through its chrysalis is one of the toughest processes that it's going through. Right? It's one of the toughest processes. It has to strengthen its wings. And as it's strengthening its wings, the wings are getting stronger. It has to break out of the chrysalis. Imagine if the caterpillar was complaining, right? Hey, Lo, what up? Appreciate the badge, love. Imagine the chrysalis was complaining, or the caterpillar was complaining that it had to be wrapped up in this chrysalis. Thank you, Miss Edie. Imagine if the caterpillar was complaining, then how is it going to become a butterfly? How do you expect the caterpillar? The caterpillar can't go from caterpillar to butterfly, right? Because the caterpillar don't have strong wings. The caterpillar didn't even develop its wings yet. Right? There's no other way the caterpillar cannot skip that process. The caterpillar cannot skip the process of getting in the chrysalis. Right? It has to get inside the chrysalis, and once it's in the chrysalis, it has to start to develop its wings, and as it's trying to break out, as it's trying to break free, right? As it's trying to break free out of the chrysalis, it is building up its wings. And as it's building up its wings, when it finally breaks out of the chrysalis, it then emerges into a beautiful butterfly. But it has to, right? It has to go through the process. And so while it's going through the process, how are you tripping? Why are you complaining? Why are you complaining about your relationship? Why are you complaining about not having enough money? Why are you complaining about your job? Why are you complaining about your clients? Why are you complaining? Why are you complaining about the weather? Why are you complaining about where you live? Why are you complaining? Why are you complaining? Because that's part of the process. It's part of the process. The caterpillar, right? The caterpillar or the egg, the caterpillar, it's called chrysalis, but it's, cocoon. You can say cocoon. But like the term is, it's in a chrysalis. But cocoon, we can say cocoon, right? But that's part of the process. It's part of the process. The egg, the caterpillar, the cocoon, right? And then the beautiful butterfly. Stop tripping.
You may not see it now, but when it gets you on the other side of it, success is tied in your relationship to God.
Yep.
You can simplify this by getting in touch with your creator. That's your key, man. Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you ask God for.
Yep.
You just got to quit tripping while you're in the process.
Stop tripping while you're in the process.
The process is necessary.
Yep.
You may not see it now, but when it gets you on the other side of it, you're going to see exactly why it went that way. And you're going to be okay with it. But quit tripping during the process. Oh, Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Oh Lord, why me? You ain't the only one. Oh Lord, why I lose my job? You ain't the only one unemployed. Pull yourself together and quit tripping because you in the process.
Yep.
God is processing you.
God is processing you.
He ain't through with you. If he was through with you, you would not wake up in the morning. He gonna fix it. Everything is wrong. First of all, let me tell you this right here. Why are you tripping? Everything that's happening to you is God is processing. Every difficult moment you're having, he just processing. That's all he's doing. Everything you're going through is preparing you for what you ask God for. And if you need to be tough when you get to where you're going, then he gonna toughen you. If you gotta be more caring along the way, he gonna let you have some trials come your way that's gonna have to produce that in you. See, the route you on right now is the route you got to take. And it's very uniquely yours. This thing you going through, this just uniquely yours. You just got to understand you ain't the only one.
You ain't the only one.
You ain't the only one going through it. Now, in the order that it's going to happen, it's just yours. You have not because you ask not. It simply say you have not because you ask not. But you don't ask because you ain't got that together. When you ask God for something, quit
tripping.
He got it from here. God can't give you what you want.
Yeah.
Because you want to hold on to what you got.
Oh, bars.
You all in the way. Now you telling him how to bless you. You can't tell God how to bless you. It's a simple process. The only reason I'm telling you this, because this is how I made it. I just do me. I'm just being me. I stay uniquely who I am because you are okay just the way you are.
Just the way you are.
God made you uniquely who you are. He wanted you to be just like you are. See, God made us very different. This God we got. God is amazing. He created you so individually. Do you know that it's close to 8 billion people on earth now? Do you know that it's almost 8 billion people on the earth? Do you know how many billions of people have died? Do you know that if you dig up all them people that have died and all the people that are presently here and every last one of them that he gonna make in the future, not one of you have the same fingerprint? Who do that? Who could possibly be so precise in his infinite wisdom that he created you so uniquely that ain't no two people got the same fingerprint? That's crazy. That's real crazy.
Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future.
Hope and a future.
Hear me well on this day. This day when you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education. You would rather find purpose than a job or career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. If it's meant for you, God will move someone that's holding you back away from a door and put someone there who will open it for you. I don't know what your future is.
I don't know what your future is.
But if you're willing to take the harder way,
the
more complicated one, the
yep.
one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more glory, then you will not regret it.
You will not regret it.
Press on.
Press
with
on.
pride and press on with purpose.
Yep.
And appreciate what God has brought you through.
Mind
Hey,
Right
yo,
Radio.
appreciate what
Your
God has
number
brought
one
you
source
through.
for Mind Elevation.
Hold on, appreciate it. Right? I need y'all to stop being grateful. Right? Stop being grateful. I need you to show appreciation. Showing appreciation, right? Showing appreciation is greater than being grateful. I'm gonna say that again. Showing appreciation is greater than being grateful. Because I believe the promise. Right? I believe that everything is working for my greater good. Right? I believe that everything is working for my greater good. And so if I believe that everything's working for my greater good, why am I grateful that I'm not in the worst situation? Right? Why am I grateful that I'm not in a worse situation? I appreciate it. Right? I appreciate everything. I appreciate it all. And a lot of times, and here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. A lot of times we're not able to be in a space of appreciation, right? We're not able to be in a space of appreciation because our ego, we're trying to hold on to things. Right? We're trying to hold on. We're trying to hold on, right? We're trying to hold on to what we got instead of letting go and staying in flow. Right? And so sometimes you have, right? Sometimes you have to surrender. Sometimes you gotta let go. Right? And so, and just for the sake of this, because I don't, just for the sake of this live, when I say gratitude, right? It's more about, for those who came late, it's more about the feeling, right? It's more about the feeling of relief, or the shock or the surprise that something is going your way when that was the promise. Everything is God's will. And so everything that is happening, right? Everything that is happening in my life, in your life, I appreciate you, sir. Look, my son came through with a refill. Everything that's happening, right? Everything that's happening in my life, I appreciate it all. Right? Like last year, I had some ups and downs. I appreciate it all. I'll give you an example, right? There was a situation that happened last year that was one of the toughest things that I had to go through. Right? I was like, man, like, don't it seem, let me ask y'all this, right? Don't it seem, right? Don't it seem like while everything is going good, things always try to come through and shake you up? Well, that's what happened to me, right? I was in a situation where I was at the highest level at that time, right? At that time, I was at the highest level of my high. Like, I was like, yo, everything was hitting. Everything, right? Everything I thought of was like manifesting quick for me. While I was in manifestation mode, right? While I was in manifestation mode, God threw this curveball at me. I'm talking about the type of curveball that I could not sleep. Right? It was one of those curveballs where I could not sleep. I couldn't sleep. I was calling all my close friends. I was trying to figure this thing out. I was like, yo, it was correct. I was in my mind, I said, yo, God. Right? My human self. Let me just say that. My human self is like, yo, God, right now, fam. Like right now, you couldn't wait. Hey, yo, I'm about to have one of the biggest moments of my life. I'm about to have one of the biggest moments of my life. And you want to throw this curveball to me right now? I said, God, yo. But I said, you know what? I believe you. I believe your promise, right? I believe your promise. You said everything's working for my greater good. So I said, damn. That's what I said. I said, damn. If this is happening right now, I can only imagine what's like. It actually feels good now. When God throws curveballs, I'll be like, you word, God? Yo, you about to bless me on that level? Like, I already know that there's a level of blessing coming in, because I already know if my small mind could look at this thing that I'm calling a big blessing, and God throws a curveball, I said, oh, I already know you got something coming, right? And so that level of appreciation, right? That level of like, all right, let's go. You want me to strap up? All right, let me strap this up. Cuzzo, what up? Right? Let me strap this up. Let me strap my boots up. All right, heard you, God. Oh, word? All right, you try to level me up? All right, here you go, heard you. Right? But that takes a level, though. That takes a level of this.
People doubt that your thoughts create reality.
A level of surrender, y'all.
It doesn't if you're just sitting around thinking, I want something. It doesn't. But there's no question if the energy and the vibrational frequency is correct, is in sync with what is to come your way, that there is a space that you create that allows that to happen. God can dream a bigger dream for me, for you, than you could ever dream.
Yo, God can dream a bigger dream, y'all.
When you've worked as hard.
When you work as hard.
As much. And strived. And tried. And given. And pled. And bargained. And hoped.
When you did all that. When you did all you could do. Now it's time to surrender.
When you have done all that you can do.
When you have done all that you can do.
For you to do. Give it up.
Give it up.
Give it up to that thing.
Hey, yo,
greater than yourself.
This year I need you to give it up.
Become a part of
Let's
it.
go. It's time to surrender, y'all. It's time to surrender, y'all. Yup.
Sunday morning, God has a jazz brunch for souls becoming human. And they go to that brunch, and God reads out all of the life assignments of humans that are going to be born on earth. And the souls pick an assignment, meaning they pick a life that they're going to come into body to manifest. And God, when he has a really hard task, he winks over at you and says, like, this is the assignment I want you to take. So the soul that was going to become Rhonda Harris was sitting there at the jazz brunch. And God winked at her. And then he brought her up and he told her, you're going to be born a black female in a time when being black or female isn't really easy. You're going to be born to an alcoholic mother and a womanizing father. You're going to be born in a situation where you may be physically abused. God tells us. He tells us. We get the life assignment. And he says, this is what I want you to know. I want you to know that you've got to hold on to me. Yes. I want you to know that you've got to learn forgiveness. And when I got abandoned and treated badly in home, I didn't remember that I could always reach out to them.
Always reach out.
But at some point, you know this, those things that God whispered in your ear kick in. And you get to choose. Either I'm going to do this as hard as it is, or I'm going to do that. I'm going to pick up a needle. I'm going to stay ignorant. I'm going to drink. I'm going to cuss. I'm going to stay angry. Or I'm going to say, Father, into thy hands I commit my soul, my life. And that's what I did. It is understanding.
You guys surrender, y'all. Let's go.
And that really is all.
And what up? Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Someone who trusts lets things happen. And there's such a subtle
abundancecommunity.org.
a subtle edge in the difference of that, because when you want things and you're just going to apply yourself diligently, we watch you ripping through these processes. You're just eating this up. You're going to get yourself tuned up as fast as you can. But there's something counterproductive in that. And what it is what your wonderful question came up with toward the end of your comments, which is you want to understand how to trust. And here's the way we would go about that. Feel the difference between someone who is, this is not for you, it's an example for you, of someone who is seeking a healing, which is absolutely upstream, and allowing wellness, which is downstream. Can you feel the difference? So many people are looking for the results, and they are so pointed upstream. They're so intense about it and so determined about it. And we want to say, you don't have to work hard. You've already done your work by living life which caused you to ask for it. And Source has already done the work by aligning things up, and law of attraction is the real workhorse behind all of it. Your work, if there is any, is to trust the stream. To trust that if you were to let go of those oars, that you've done enough in the living of life to put it in vibrational escrow, and the source is reliable enough to bring you in this massively moving stream toward what you want. So it's not necessarily, not even a trusting in your ability. It's a bigger trust than that. It's a trust or faith in the stream. And what we have given you as a result of what you've been reading, we've given you a framework in which you now understand the current of the universe, you see. And so that's what we want you to practice your trust in. We want you to say to yourself, well, the stream is flowing, and I can paddle upstream if I want to, and I can tell I am because I don't feel so good. This tension tells me that I'm doing that. And if you will just work a little bit on the sensation of letting go of the oars. In other words, it's not about making it happen. It's not about being different than you are. It's really about
Happy New Year.
Making peace with where you are.
Make peace where you are.
So, in very short terms, we would say to you, if we were to give you an unfair label that accurately depicts the energy of your being, you try too hard. You work too hard at things. And it comes from wanting to please others. It comes from having a lot of responsibilities. It comes from a lot of people counting on you. It comes from all of those things, but it doesn't serve you. And it doesn't serve anyone.
Look, it only serves you to let go. Go with the flow.
Surrender for me, and I experienced a lot of surrender during my cancer journey, but surrender is, it's like a fish finding the current and going with it.
Yeah.
That's surrender.
Oh my God, I love that so much. You know what? Because I believe that everybody in life has their own current and their own flow. Your job in life is to figure out what that is, what lane that is, and how you line up with the center and the universe and everything around you, and follow that flow. Your job in life is to try to not be the salmon swimming upstream all the time, but to find your flow.
Acceptance, though, I would say, is
wrap it up.
When you're finding that flow and you run into driftwood or a stone or get caught in the bank, is accepting that and the larger situation. So, I
it's
think
so hard to know when to accept and when do I fight to get out.
Well, accept to me doesn't mean that we stop evolving.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual perception.
Yeah. That acceptance before, because we're all in difficult circumstances at some point in our lives. And you have to be able to acknowledge and accept where you are before you can figure out how to get out from where you are.
Yes, and we're so attached to the identities, relationships, and dreams that have brought us this far. And they're dear. But like a cocoon, when a butterfly emerges, the cocoon has served its purpose. It doesn't mean it's false. It means it served its purpose.
Oh, that's so good.
And our dreams...
And everything in life serves its purpose.
Our dreams, our identities, our ambitions, our relationships, they often are cocoons that lead us to the next.
All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Tapping in. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. The Ash Cash Show every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tell a friend to tell a friend. 2023, y'all. It's time to surrender. You know what I'm saying? Stop leading with our ego. Ego means edging God out, right? Ego means to edge God out. It's time to stop leading with your ego. There's a plan for your life already, right? You are specifically made. You have a purpose. You're specifically made. There's nobody on this planet. There's nobody on this earth that could do or be who you were intended to be. And so the reason, I'm going to tell you the truth, right? Abundance is your birthright. The reason you're struggling is because you're being somebody that you're not destined to be. You're being somebody that you're not destined to be. So because you're being somebody who you're not destined to be, you're struggling. It's tough. You're trying to figure things out. Abundance is your birthright. It's promised to you. You're made in the image and likeness of God. So it's promised to you. And so stop forcing yourself to struggle. Right? Stop forcing yourself to struggle. Get to a space, right? Get to a space where you are finally letting go. Letting go and letting God. Let God guide your path. Period. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Yo, make sure y'all check out Inside the Vault. Last Thursday's episode, powerful episode, Corey L. Hughes. Make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all go to abundancecommunity.org. Our book of the month for January is Deepak Chopra, the seven spiritual laws of success. Right? So 7 spiritual laws of success is our book for January. Tonight, 8 p.m., we meet for Ask Ash Cash. I'm gonna do a review of December's book. So last month we closed out the year with Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. And so tonight at 8 p.m. Is our Ask Ash Cash session, only available through the Abundance community. And so go to abundancecommunity.org. Make sure y'all join. We're going to be going over Outwitting the Devil. This month's book is the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. Mind Right Radio is also moving to abundancecommunity.org. So make sure y'all tap in. And that's it. I'll see y'all tomorrow in God's will, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. All right, peace.
I ain't talking about rich. I'm talking about wealth.
Money ain't a thing. Money ain't a thing.
Money in the bank. Money in the bank.
We can talk, but money talk, so talk more.
Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show, the Ash Cash Show, Ash Cash Show.
Baby, I got your money.
You are now tuned in to the Ash Cash Show, your number one source for financial motivation. Get your mind and your money right.